The Jungle Book was released for the Sega Genesis in 1994, developed and produced by Virgin Interactive. The credits include industry heavyweights, including a game design credit to David Perry and a music credit to Tommy Tallarico. My earliest memory of this game is from the mid-90s, when my cousins and I would pass the controller around and take turns playing at my grandmother's house. I wasn't very good at the game, but the music and sound effects stuck with me through the years. Revisiting this again 20 years later, most of what I remember remains true. The music captures the feel of the motion picture, and the developers seem to make the most of that movie license. The soundtrack is technically sound, with clear horns, strings, and percussions that are all well arranged. The jungle itself feels alive, and nearly every animal has its own unique sound. Mowgli also has an array of grunts and yells that he'll spew out when the situation arises. It all adds up to a rather rich audio experience and lives up to my childhood memories. It's one of those games that reminds you that Genesis wasn't totally outclassed by the Super Nintendo. Graphically, the Jungle Book is above average, but can't quite match what other developers at the time were producing. The foreground layer looks great, but there's just a single background layer with limited colors and repeating scenes. On the positive side of things, Mowgli himself looks terrific, with every step, jump, and climbing animation frame animated to near perfection. As a kid, I found the Jungle Book challenging, and I could only get through 5 of the game's 10 levels. As an adult, I find the game fairly easy. You must take your time through the jungle, as nearly every branch has a snake or monkey hiding in it ready to attack. If you try to race through the stages, you're bound to expire the life meter in a hurry. If you are patient, you'll find Mowgli controls as well as any game in the genre. Additionally, the default banana throwing attack is well done. You can fire while jumping, and it's responsive enough to make aiming a breeze. You can fire also straight up in the air, which offers plenty of versatility when dealing with bosses and other foes. The levels mostly follow the same formula, requiring you to collect a specific amount of gems, and then finally reaching a specific end character to complete the stage. If you find every gem hiding in the level, you get to play in a bonus level. There are also plenty of weapon upgrades as well. Unlike the bananas, these do run out and are best reserved for the bosses. As I said before, if you play with a little patience, you'll have no problems having the resources necessary to take out the bosses. Generally speaking, there isn't a huge amount of variety in the Jungle Book. The majority of the levels feel the same, with some palette swaps that give a slightly different look, but the goal remains identical. In fact, the entire experience feels an awful lot like the Terminator and many other Virgin Interactive games of the time period. The Jungle Book is also rather short. If you're competent at this style of game, you'll breeze through this in under an hour. The Jungle Book features high production values, great sound, good graphics, and slick controls. It's too bad most of the levels are pretty much the same. I'm almost thankful the game is a bit on the short side, as I certainly wouldn't want to slog through a few more palette swap jungle levels just to pad the length. As for my childhood, the Jungle Book lives up to my memories. Even as I record this, the Bare Necessities tune is still stuck in my head. The title can't hang with AAA platformers of the time, but there is still plenty of fun to be had here. At the end of the day, that is the highest compliment I can pay any game. If you're looking for a playable, technically sound platformer, definitely check out The Jungle Book.